Lieutenant Alex McConnell, Officer Candidate School Course Chief. And as crazy as to say, a little bit over 8 years ago, I stood in this room on that stage, or at least what came before that stage. It's been a while. And received my orders to Sector Delaware Days and Apprentice Marine Inspector. At the time, I felt like this is it. This is the next step of my life, and I'm probably never, ever going to come back here ever again. So I can appreciate the irony of the fact that not only am I back here, but I'm back here as the course chief for Officer Candidate School. I wanted to take this opportunity to set the tone for you. For those that have seen the live stream from last year, have an idea of how this is going to go tonight. For those that are new to all this, I think there's about 102 of you. My plan is to read this script like the prize presenter from The Price is Right. So, with that said, on behalf of Commander Higgins, the Officer of Sessions and Transitions Department Head, and Commander Scapin, Commanding Officer of the NOAA Officer Corps Training Center, welcome everybody to Billet Night for OCS Class 1 TAC 25 and BOTC 144. So I'm pleased to introduce some distinguished guests for this evening. Rear Admiral Merchant, Commander, U.S. Coast Guard Personal Service Center, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Dr. Amy Donahue, Coast Guard Academy Provost, thank you as well for joining us. I would also like to recognize our class sponsors, Rear Admiral Randall, Course Readiness Command, and Rear Admiral Carey, Director of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Commissioned Officer Corps and Office of Marine and Aviation Operations. Excuse me, I want to. Also joining us this evening is Captain Van Wessendorp, Director, NOAA Commissioned Personnel Center, Captain Hill, Commanding Officer, Leadership Development Center, and Captain Hernandez, Coast Guard Academy Commandant of Cadets. Thank you all for joining us today. We are also joined by commanding officers and staff from units throughout the country who are here to receive their new members. So thank you all for joining us as well. And for everybody else that is in attendance, I'd like to welcome and thank every one of you for being here to celebrate these fine men and women who will soon embark on critical leadership roles in service to their nation. And to our family and friends who join us watching the live stream, thank you all so much for joining us and supporting your officer candidates. I also want to take the time to recognize the hard work of the student Billet Night team. So once I call your name, please stand and receive your recognition. OC Anselm, OC Citron Ortiz, OC Hamilton, OC Crystal Moore, OC Meehan, Ms. Rita Levant, and Lieutenant Edward. They have worked tirelessly to make sure this evening is a memorable and enjoyable one, and I would say excellent job on the decorations. A special thanks is also owed to the Academy's Consolidated Club staff, led by Miss Lori Beckwith, for the delicious meal that we just enjoyed and their excellent service across many events here at the Academy. So thank you all. And lastly, thanks go to the Coast Guard and NOAA assignment officers who work diligently to ensure each of our students receive a great first assignment from which to start their careers. All right, so it is now time to hear from our guest speaker tonight. Rear Admiral Randall wasn't able to make it in person this evening, but he wanted to pass his sincerest congratulations and to let all of you know that he is looking forward to meeting with you once again once you have received your assignments. It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Rear Admiral Carey. Rear Admiral Carey has proudly served NOAA and the nation since 2001. He is currently the Director of the NOAA Office of Marine and Aviation Operations and Director of the NOAA Commissioned Officer Corps, where he leads the agency's 15 ships, 10 aircraft, autonomous systems, health services, cyber, training, and commissioned officer corps. Welcome, Rear Admiral Carey.
That's 1 TAC 25 and BOTC 144. Good evening. Are you guys pumped to get some assignment information? Yeah! All right, let's go. So I'm going to keep my remarks short because the last thing I want to be is standing between you and what comes next. But this is a huge milestone in your careers that you will not soon forget. They mark the beginning of your assignments as officers, and I want to start by congratulating each and every one of you. You've worked hard, persevered, and you're dedicated yourselves to reach this moment, and for that, you should be very proud. It's also really special for me to share this with you as you receive your first assignment. I'm likely in my last Noah Corps assignment as I stand up here in front of you. It doesn't feel like that because, man, I got a lot of work on my plate. But it has given me a chance to reflect and think about that. And every single assignment I've had, every single one has been a building block that has gotten me to where I am today. And that just is like so impactful when I think back about that. And I want you to remember one thing as you receive the news tonight that you're about to receive. And that's that you're going to get the assignment that you're supposed to receive. Every assignment I've had, the privilege of serving has brought me an experience that I use today. And it's just really remarkable how that works. And now I've been lucky, and I'm not bragging, but I have been lucky. When I left BOTC, I did get my first choice. I got to go back to Alaska. I got to sail, which was super cool for me personally, as well as professionally. First land assignment after that, I got to go and forecast rivers. I got to get a graduate degree. I got to learn a lot about climate. Also awesome. Third assignment, I also got to go where I wanted to go, which was back up to Alaska. And I thought, wow, I'm living the Noah Corps dream. This is amazing. I'm getting to do what I want. I've got this assignment thing figured out. Well, that was going great until I got my next assignment. And they were like, you're going to go back to DC, and you're going to be assigned to the Environmental Modeling Center. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I'm good at ship stuff. You know, I got pretty good at the river and climate thing out west. Like, what am I going to do at an environmental modeling center? What do they even do there? I think they process the physics. They coordinate the data. They do all of the development work behind numerical weather prediction models. Raise your hand if you know what that means. Yeah, that's about right. So I showed up. I'm like, I'm already one of the slowest people in the room. Now I'm going to be really slow in the room with this crowd. I don't know what they're thinking, sending me here. And I asked the assignment coordinator, and I was like, what's going on? And he was like, this is where we need you. This is the spot for you right now. And I got there, and what I came to learn was that they were full of brilliant talent. They had more technical expertise than they knew to do it. They worked extremely close with the folks that ran the supercomputers that the weather prediction models run on. Really important components, right? Research, operations, and how do you get between those two fronts? And what I learned really quickly when I got there was that they needed leadership, they needed bridge builders, they needed a way to make their processes run a lot more efficiently. And that is exactly where I felt like I could add value to that really smart, competent, talented team at the Environmental Modeling Center. So I did that. And during that time, the number of model upgrades, the things we processed, really picked up speed. I learned a ton about acquisitions. I'd never done anything with that before. That was a phenomenal experience, but the most memorable part of that tour was when Deepwater Horizon happened. And Deepwater Horizon was a huge moment, a huge tragedy. But Coast Guard and NOAA played huge roles during that time. And when we got the phone call from the management response centers down in the Gulf, and they were like, hey, we've got plumes going in lots of different directions. We have way more traffic than we know what to do with. We really need to step up our ocean modeling game. How do we do that, NOAA? And I was like, I know what's running on these computers, and I know what should be running on those computers, and we can expand that. We can improve our ocean modeling, and we can better pinpoint those forecasts and provide the support for the folks with boots on the ground in that area. And so from this assignment that I never wanted to go to, never wanted to have anything to do with, I learned more from how to thrive in that environment than I ever had anticipated. And so such a remarkable experience to get to have gone through that. When I thought, everyone in my organization had lost their mind, I was exactly where I was supposed to be at that moment in time. So when you report to duty, approach your assignments with dedication, adaptability, and a passion for your service. You're stepping into roles that matter. You're joining a legacy of service that has been built over decades. And this will be with you your whole life. This past week, I got to know a 102-year-old man. He's retired from the NOAA Corps. He was actually in our predecessor service, Coast and Geodetic Survey. He's 102. And he emailed me. We're having a dining out, a social event coming up. And he goes, I can't come, I'm 102. And I was like, that's no excuse. Get your ass to our dinner. What are you doing? And he said, well, I'm also out of state and whatnot. And I was like, tell me a little bit about your career. He sends me several emails about what he did when he was active duty in the NOAA Corps. And he's in a retirement home, but this is what he talks about. This is what he values, what he did with his time, the contributions that he gave to his country. And this is during the World War II era and the periods that followed that. 102-year-old, still telling stories. I hope they're accurate. They may be a little bit exaggerated. He's earned that right. But I just thought that was amazing. So, you know, what are the stories you're going to be wanting to tell when you're 102? Think about that. So be proud of what you're about to achieve. Know that the work that you do really matters. Where you're placed will make an enormous difference. But also, don't get too big of a head. As I've learned in my career, no matter how well I've been trained, no matter how hard I've worked at my craft, I still get asked, what's the weather forecast today? And I don't know. I'm not in that line with Noah. Thanks for asking me. My coasting colleagues, no matter how skilled you get, and how many lives you saved, and how many pounds of drugs you intervene on, someone's still going to call and say, should I buy this boat or not? That's just something we're stuck with. But congratulations, enjoy the moment, and I really look forward to hoping to seeing the results and watching your careers grow from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me here. So we're almost ready to begin. Before we do, we're going to have to discuss some ground rules. At this time, we will demonstrate procedures for receiving your billet. Commander Higgins and Commander Stephen, would you please join me on stage for the demonstration? Okay. Students, you will be called to the stage one at a time. So, Lieutenant Edwards, front center. When your name is called, you will rise from your seat and walk up to the stage using the stairs at the front. You will accept an envelope from your respective school representative. These envelopes are yours to keep. Then shake the officer's hand and head to the center of the stage where X marks the spot. You will turn to face your classmates with your back to the crowd. After expressing your chosen emotion, you depart stage right to the official guests. Unit representatives, you are welcome to join the receiving line, which will be located over to stage right.
You're better than I just said.
Oh yes, yeah, one minute. Okay, we're good with the script. Then you can return to your seats, you can cheer on your classmates. Thank you all for the demonstration. Yes, you can return back to the table. We got a little bit more before we start calling it. Well, we're ready, we're good. Speaking of that cheering and that round of applause, I highly encourage all of you to cheer and applaud your shipmates. All right, so one more thing before we begin. We have one last event for the evening. Your class advisor, Lieutenant Edwards, will address you now. Mr. Edwards. Woo.
that demo did not go well, so this is not starting well. But hello everyone, it's Billet night. It's awesome. So my name is Lieutenant Edwards, and my role for this class, I've been the class advisor. So a little bit different than the POs, which I was for the last year, but what I've gotten to do is be a little bit more of that that typical what you might see in the fleet of like 03 to 01. So a lot of delegation, but I've gotten to have some really great interactions with you guys so far. We've made a lot of changes in the OCS program, as you guys have probably seen. A lot of hard work has went into that. And one of the things that I'm most proud of, and it's not really necessarily me that's done it, but one of the things that I've watched and really enjoyed is it started with my first class that I got here as an instructor. Our first Billet night that I was there, Lieutenant Buell, he was the one who was project officer for that night, and what did he do? He made a playlist that was yacht rock centric. And ever since that night, Billet night has kind of taken on its own identity of being a lot funner, a little more celebratory, not as dry as it was before, and it's something I'm really proud of. One of the other traditions that has kind of evolved from that is a light roasting of the students and some of the staff. So that's a tradition that I'm hoping will stick around for a couple years to come, unless this is absolutely terrible, then it'll probably get canceled tonight. With that being said, I'd like to acknowledge some of the fine staff and students of OCS Class 125. All right, OCS, hello. Congratulations, you're the first OCS class to be general parenting. Some of you have never had to deal without coffee for 7 weeks, and it really shows. Yeah, must be nice. You're the first class to have a 9 p.m. bedtime. I speak for all former OCS graduates when I say must be nice. Yeah. All you future unaway types, I highly encourage you to make sure you let your COs know that you need that full 8 hours. Please let me know how that goes for you. You're the first class to only be IT for the first week. Only IT in the week. You're also the first class to have that immediately reversed. You really earned that one. I'm not going to point any fingers, but it's probably the person who left their dirty underwear all over here. Yeah, no. So, on a positive note, though, being an instructor here, it truly has been one of the highlights. I would say it's the privilege of my career so far. It's been one of my favorite jobs. I've really seen some high caliber human beings come through this program and become some great officers. The Stupinon is not one of those people yet, but there's time. So, hold on. On that note, I'll move into my apology section. To the BOTC students and to the Gatorade company, Miss Hughes is sorry. Yeah. Well, it's funny that you should clap, sir. Because in her defense, she had just finished speaking with Mr. Hale, and as you all know, doing that can make anybody want to kick a Gatorade. All right, and so this next one, this is actually from me. Miss May, where are you? Miss Mai, sorry. Miss Mai. I'm sorry. Well, first, I'm sorry for saying your last name wrong. But secondly, I'm sorry for yelling at you for having a ponytail about 5 minutes after the ponytail became authorized. That's my fault. I still think you might be some sort of AI prototype, but I am still sorry. Hopefully in our next update, we'll be able to do an about face without having to reboot. Speaking of an about face, I'm switching back to something positive. So, one of you did the sharpest, most impressive about face I have ever seen. He knows. Unfortunately, it was just about 5 minutes too early. He did that first call to sunset instead. Yeah, so Mr. Cross, he pulled that cannon. He did the sharpest about face. He did the most patriotic. It was perfect. But then he had to stand there for about 3 minutes and look at everyone else who was there. And so it actually got much worse. So he decides, I can fix this. Fix this, guys. And so he goes, and him and Devin are like, okay, let's go, and we'll get another round for the cannon. We can do this in like 2 minutes. It's fine. And so they kind of like proceed in this like Scooby-Doo like chase sequence. And so one goes out and down the street, one goes down Chase Hall. They don't find each other, and they finally bring back another round, and there was like 15 seconds to spare, and they like, oh yeah, we can do it, and we had to just be like, no, it was total disaster. But I expect nothing less from somebody who would wear a Broncos t-shirt. You're welcome. Yes. We have Admiral's Data Merchant with us tonight. Everyone who's in my chain of command, take a breath. I'm not about to say anything to OPM's boss, I promise. This is a serious note. So if you didn't know this, Admiral Merchant is one of a very, very, very small number of OCS graduate flag officers. So the fact that one is here tonight is awesome, and we should take a moment to just reflect and say, this is awesome, things are changing, we can do better, and hopefully some of you in this room might join her path. And then just for me personally, this is my fifth class as an instructor. I only have one more. And every single class that I've taught, there's been somebody, I would say more than somebody, there's been about maybe 5 or 6 people every class that have had some sort of impact that you have positively impacted their careers. So I just want to say, for me personally, thank you for being here. I'm a huge fan. I think it's awesome. So thank you. On a totally random note, I am transferring next year. Just saying, maybe you put in a good word for people. Okay, so now I got a couple more just random notes. Where'd they go? All right. So a couple things I never thought I would see in this job that have blown my mind. I've seen in this class specifically a couple 40-year-old ensigns who look like they're old enough to be my dad. And then there's a couple of you guys, so like I could be talking about any of you, right? No, I'm talking about Mr. White. When you get to wherever you're going, the non-rates are going to be like, not sure if auxiliaries or... see, and this one, for real. Somebody chewing gum at the head table. Check-in day. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, you all probably didn't see that, but one of you knows it happened. Who was it? Yeah. Congrats to you. Yeah, you made Miss Hepler literally black out and turn into a 4th grade teacher. Spit it out. All right, let me check my notes here. Mr. McIntyre. Yeah. Big law enforcement guy. Seems like an even bigger Taylor Swift guy. That's my observation. OC Crescemba. Very boring. Yeah, I literally cannot hear your name without picturing some sort of commercial for a prescription drug that is... More on that later. OC Charm. You're literally the only student I've ever seen who might catch on fire if she goes outside. Yeah, I know you just told me you want Hawaii, but for your sake, I hope you get a command center in the North Pole. This is for all of you. Reading your OSS was truly painful. I'd rather go back in time, have Mr. Irwin punch me in the face, and then watch you guys scream, move those bags, or USA, or whatever, for 40 minutes straight, then read another one of your OSS. It was that bad. Mr. Coburn. Take it easy. Your face is scaring the newest section. If you're as mad as your face usually is, you need to talk to your doctor to see if Crescemba is right for you. Okay. I want to end my speech by pointing out one of the coolest things that I think this class has ever done. And like I said, I'm comparing you guys to the 5 previous to this. And it's 2 words to describe this really, really awesome thing. Board statement. So all I'm saying is if a Scottish orchid happens to appear for me, like I'm gonna make some marching tours disappear for me. But seriously, that's like really cool. All right. Well, I'm about to put my career in jeopardy because I'm gonna now pass the mic to one of you. So with that, can you please give a round of applause for one of your own, Miss Kozlowski.
Who set these tables up? HBR test.
Good morning, Apple Company. Evening. Good evening, Apple Company. Good evening. I said good evening, Apple Company. Good evening. By the way, Mr. Edwards, that was really funny for a man I've never seen in motion for once. I was a little nervous for you, now I'm nervous for myself. Yeah, well, I also want to thank some of the distinguished guests here. I actually met Rear Admiral Merchant on my first interview for C-Spy, and now I get to tell jokes in front of her, my PO, and potentially my future command, so I'm really making good choices as a future day out. I haven't seen somebody go after a group of OCs so hard since the Killer Bee incident with Charm from and Mr. Fraser almost destroying you. I know that Mr. Edwards started off with a few apologies, but I want to start off with a few thank yous. Thank you for bringing your spirit of core here. Thank you for bringing your passion and your dedication to OCS. And Noah, thank you for finally packing your mustaches. I also want to immediately pass all of my PI inspections. For example, any of those like last-minute links or threads on my uniform, I would just look down at my own reflection in Mr. Schroyer's boots and then pick it off before it's Also, Mr. Stratton, I know that we've been pushing for music in the barracks for a really long time. And we finally got a taste of it over Labor Day. We got to listen to it for like an hour as we cleaned. And I believe it was O.C. Frazier that said, when you put the good tunes on, you get a new Patrick. But now I'm going to have to request that you immediately pass the memo for headphones so we can drown out the sound of Mr. Schroyer's bagpipes. The other day, I think it was the Wii background music to change it up. Oh, by the way, Mr. Schroyer, we found Alpha 4, so you can stop looking down the stairs. On a real note, though, over the last 7 weeks, we did learn a lot about how to operate as JOs in the Coast Guard. We learned our Coast Guard core values and our NOAA core values, and that we will learn it, live it, O.C. Hale, can you hear me? That's all right. O.C. Hale learned that our water is in fact purified. And that Miss Hughes can jump really high when screaming at you to ground your gear. Also, thank you, Miss Hughes, for your incredible, inspirational, motivating, and totally not confusing or scary speech about going response ashore. I really appreciated it, and I bet so did Mr. Edwards. Did I? Yeah. I also just recently learned that Mr. Irwin likes to make pottery. Fun fact, you're actually eating on his dishes tonight. That's 3 marching tours. By the way, Mr. Irwin, these are jokes. Please don't make me log any of this. Thank you. Speaking of logging, I did want to say one apology to Miss Van Stratton for calling you Miss Anderson 3 times in one day. Fun. But I also think it was strategic that you would place Miss Lesser, Miss Lawson, and Miss Lightsky, and both Mr. Smiths in the Oak Country hallway whenever I had to go to the bathroom. So. Also, raise your hand if you had to do the awkward pass down to Oak Country because you were looking for one person and then they went there and then you had to hide out in the watch office. Yeah. My condolences to Noah. I know you guys are struggling through rotor this week while also having to deal with your billets. So that's probably very stressful. But speaking of rotor, did anybody else? Did anybody else find it really suspicious that Bosun Martin happened to get the flu 2 days into teaching us rotor, right? A likely story, huh? She probably wanted to happy Labor Day too. But if rotor took down our top Bosun mate, imagine what it did to me, a theater major. And then finally, look, I was going to make a joke about Miss Lawson and Miss Lightsky because they are my POs, but I'm not that stupid. I know who writes my OER. But I did want to take a final moment to recognize a recent promotion that we had on staff. You see, on a Tuesday evening following colors a few weeks back, it could have been Tuesday, OC Demeter, raise your hand, Demeter, where you at, Annie? OC Demeter was whipping around that corner in Sienna's passageway, passionate about colors, stressed about colors, when out walks Senior Chief Halperin. Give it up for Senior Chief. And as they met on a head-on collision course, Annie Demeter knew that she needed to greet correctly and knew the ways of the OC land, so she popped to attention, she took a deep breath, they locked eyes, and she said, "Good evening, Super Chief." Round of applause for Super Chief on her early promotion. I know it's not in regs, but it did come in red, so you can get your cape from me from your first class at OCS. Alright, I think that's enough for me. It's time to get to billets before I too have to take a Gazumbo.
Be a very tough act to follow up. I just read names. Thank you, Lieutenant Edwards and Mr. Glasgow Davis. They started on a great note. Now for the moment you have all been waiting for. Let's get to the assignments. Distinguished guests, Ranch Gateman, would you please join us? Mr. Edwards, is the clicker working?
Test it because then it's going to be spoilers.
All right, first person up. Mr. Kerr. All right, Mr. Keir. I hope you've got a meeting and some flannel because you're doing a centrifuge sound inspection today in Seattle. All right, Mr. Joe. Soon to be out there. Hopefully, maybe. Okay. All right, Mr. Joe, I hope you're ready for a short drive because you're going to New Haven, Connecticut. It's like your Long Island City. All right, Miss Kano, you're next. And so, Miss Kano, on the opposite end of the country, you've got a bit of a drive for you. Head to the Noah ship right there. And all right, next up, Mr. Greenlaw. Note for next time, we're going to build a conveyor belt on the side. Well, Mr. Greenlaw, I hope you're ready to head over to Newport, Washington. All right, next up, Mr. Hay. All right, Mr. Hay. We're going to start calling you high speed because you're going to MSRP. All right, Mr. Czechnicki, you're up. You know, Mr. Czechnicki, they say the best inspectors come from D8, and that's where you're going. All right, Mr. Chang, you are up. Yes, so Okay, Mr. Chang, hope you're ready to rack up that flight time. Go ahead. Ms. Abraham, you are heading to Mobile, Alabama. All right, Mr. Castro. All right, Mr. Castro, you and your mustache have an always We're going to mix up a little bit. Miss Chanel Gibbs. So I don't know if this is going to be a surprise to anybody in this case. But you're going to the Royal Bohemian Defense Force. And Miss Starr, you're next. And you are going to, I'm going to try to Mr. Bernasek. All right, Mr. Bernasek, you're going to keep those Mariners in the straight and narrow, working Sector LALB Enforcement Division. Mr. Whittenberg, you're next. Well, Mr. Budenbeck, we're also going to call you high speed. All right, Mr. Curry. All right, Mr. Kearney, I hear the weather is nice aboard the Noah ship there. All right, Mr. Bowie, you are next. All right, Mr. Bowie, you're going to be the only buoy we're going to find in the sky as you're flying. All right, Ms. Blitzinski, Bienvenido, Ami Ami. All right, Ms. Control Ortiz, you're next. All right, Ms. Control Ortiz, you've got a short drive down the road to New Haven, Connecticut, sector Long Island Sound. All right, Miss Sailor. So you're going to be living up to your name aboard the Coast Guard Cutter Spencer in Portsmouth. Mr. Connolly, you're next. All right, Mr. Connolly. I hope you like pimento cheese because they got a lot of it in Charleston, South Carolina. All right. Mr. Cortez, you are up. All right, Mr. Cortez. Oh, the next. You're going to be doing a lot of flexing on the beach of sunny San. All right, Mr. Connors, it's going to be fun in the sun looking at boats in Sector 16. Next up, Miss Michelle Colebrook. You can't get out of this. So hopefully we got this one right. Because once you graduate from here, you're going back to the Bahamian Defense Force. All right, Mr. 9. All right, Mr. 9, you're going to get fired up in Sector Western Alaska. And for those that don't know, JBIR stands for Joint Base on the Gulf Stream, which is Alaska, adjacent to Anchorage. All right, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, fingers crossed. Hurricane season ends in a couple months, so you don't have to worry about anything. place so nice they named it twice. They're going to Embassy, Texas City. All right, Miss Anselm, you're next. So I hope you're ready for all the fun and excitement and beautiful. Mr. Ferguson. So hope you're ready for some time on the beach at Deck Rock. Mr. Gomer. All right, Mr. Cover, just remember, it's okay to show emotion at Sector Mobile, Alabama. All right, Mr. Fritz, you're next. All right. So the question now is, how do you like your fancy lattes in Seattle, Washington? Next from Jaeger. All right, Ms. Kronjager, you've got a long drive ahead of you across I-80 at Sector Columbia River. First, please, Mr. Cross. All right, Mr. Cross, you're going to be heading to beautiful South Portland, Maine. And you get a free hat. All right, Mr. Cross. All right, Ms. Cross, I hope you are ready to rack up that flight time. Ms. Senator. Senator, you're lined up for some fun in the sun in San Diego. All right, Mr. Dillon.
That's my roommate!
All right, Mr. Dillon. I don't know how we're going to fit you into some of those boats when you're a rain inspector in Virginia. All right, Mr. Nziyama. All right, Mr. Ziama, you're going to be going to Portsmouth, Virginia aboard the Coast Guard Contact Launch Pilot. All right.
Go Beagles.
All right, so you're going to need to keep that stern face as part of Miss LA. You're up. Mr. Warren, you're going to have to watch out for those bears on the Coast Guard. Can we didn't see anything? Pretty cool. All right, Mr. Stupanon, you're going to Newport, Rhode Island. All right, Miss Etnar. All right, Miss Ednar, you've got a bit of a flight ahead of you, heading out to Santa Rita. All right, I believe we have Mr. Wood. I gotta say, I love the uniforms. All right, Mr. Wood, this might come as a surprise to you, but once you graduate from here, you're going to the Royal Bahamian Defense Force. All right, Ms. Davis. Hope you're ready for Sector Jacksonville. All right, fairly. All right, Mr. Fairley, get yourself a slice of key lime pie. All right, Mr. Ferris. Mr. Ferris, I don't have a joke for Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but I hope you're excited. Mr. Fountain. All right, Mr. Fountain, you are heading south to Port Arthur, Texas. Prince, all right, Mr. Fraser, you're up.
You're going to look great in flannel as you go to Sector B. All right, Mr. Freeman. All right, Mr. Freeman, hope you're ready for some fun in the sun in beautiful Alameda, California. Garrett, please come on up. All right, get your inspection hammer ready when you go down to Portsmouth, Virginia. Ms. Gilchrist, you are next. All right, Ms. Gilchrist, and so you are heading to Sector San Francisco Convention Center. San Francisco, California. Mr. Giuseppe, you are. All right, Mr. Giuseppe. So you're going to be bringing all that positive energy aboard the Coast Guard cutter Tahoma. Mr. Hale. All right, Mr. Hale. I hope you like beignets because you'll get to eat a lot of them at Sector New Orleans. Mr. Hamilton. I feel like we take the largest people to expect the smallest folks. Because Mr. Hamilton, you're going to Tampa, Florida. Ms. Johnson. I hope you're excited for beautiful San Diego, California. All right, Mr. Hampton. You, Mr. Hampton, will be heading just north there to Sector Boston. Henley. All right, Mr. Henley, you are going to beautiful San Diego, California. All right, Mr. Aaron, get ready to set sail aboard the Noah ship Rainier. All right, Mr. Hodges, you are up. All right, Mr. Hodges, get ready for some fun in the sun. Mr. Gina Bertone. All right, you're going to have some shipmates that you can road trip with. All right, all in. All right, Mr. Holland, we're going to turn you into a Buffalo Bills fan. Miss Hook? Miss Hook, I hear the weather is nice for the next one. Mr. Bennett. All right, Mr. Bennett, you're going to be hanging out amongst the palm trees in Charleston, South Carolina. Yes, we were. All right, Mr. Hooper, remember to use both hands to make positive control of the flag stick. All right, Mr. Jacqueline. I hear they have a really nice Buc-ee's in Houston, Texas. Right? All right, Mr. Ladone. All right, Mr. Ladone, see where you and your mustache are going. Get ready to hop aboard the Noah ship Oregon 2. Mr. Jimmy Leonis. All right, Mr. Jimmy Leonis. You're going to keep those Virginia voters in line. And Second Virginia. Team Canole, you're next. Go, Mike. All right. Congratulations. will sign is the Fellowship High School. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly, we're also going to have to start calling you High Speed. Education, I know you and I talked a lot about where's a good start for re-inspectors. You can't get any better. Ms. Kostecki, you're up. All right, Ms. Kostecki, hope you're ready for beautiful, exciting San Juan, Puerto Rico. Mr. Bosky. All right, Ms. Kozlowski. I hear they have great comedy clubs in Philadelphia. Go Birds. Go Birds! All right, Mr. Cook, getting ready for a great time aboard the Coast Guard cutter Calhoun. Mr. Rubla, you're going to have some very exciting and important work at MC Port Arthur Emergency Management.
Let's go, baby. Come on out.
Come on, lady.
Mr. Lakey, you're going to have to buy yourself a pair of wings because you're going to...
Let's go, Lamar. Let's go, Lamar.
All right, Mr. Lamar, I hope you're ready for some fun in the sun in beautiful Honolulu.
Look at the card.
He's staying.
Honolulu, Hawaii.
Congrats, Lamar. Congrats, Lamar.
Miss Johnny, you're going to have to work on that accent because you're going fast. All right, Mr. Shane, you're going to have to put that salute down and put on the flight control. All right, Mr. McGowan, you are heading to beautiful Corpus Christi, Texas. Charged with helping the environment in Portsmouth, Virginia. All right, Mr. you are next. All right, Mr. Philpott, get ready for a long flight to Honolulu, Hawaii. All right, Ms. McDevitt, hope you're ready to go aboard the NOAA ship Thomas Jefferson. Mr. McIntyre. All right, Mr. McIntyre. My, oh my, the Ellie guy is going to... I love how you're surprised that your name got it. All right, Mr. Ruiz, you're heading over to Pascagoula aboard the NOAA ship. All right, Mr. Roll, you can't get out of this. This is going to be a very big surprise for you. All right, Mr. Roll, I hope I got this one right. You're heading back to the Royal Bahamian Defense Force. Mr. Edwards, note for next time, let's put it in like a joker location. Ms. Meehan, get ready for fun and excitement aboard the NOAA ship Fairweather in... Vigiano. Oh, Mr. Vigiano, I hope you like flying because you're going to Lake Florida. ask you to say
Uncle White.
All right, Mr. White, you're heading over to Detroit, Michigan. Those one. Socially, you're going to do great at Sector Columbia River in Portland, Oregon. Mr. Ortiz kind of out. And Mr. Ortiz kind of out. You are going to get the freshest ice aboard the Coast Guard Comic Peterson. All right, Mr. Peterson, you and your attempt at a mustache are going to the Noah Strip Oregon. All right, Mr. Ray.
What do you say, Ray? Uncle Ray.
All right, Mr. Ray, get that inspection hammer out because you're going to Corpus Christi, Texas. All right, Mr. Robinson, bundle up. You're going to Juneau, Alaska. All right, Mr. Rodriguez Garcia, welcome aboard the Coast Guard Comic Rescue. Mr. Machado. And I'll be honest with you, I hope I wasn't on cruise control when I reviewed these PowerPoints and just left the Haitian Defense Force on. So, Mr. Machado, once we're done with this course, you're going to be heading back home to the Angolan Navy. All right, Mr. Roy, you're going to be inspecting boats in beautiful San Pedro, California. All right, Mr. Ryback. All right, Mr. Robin, get that swinging already when you start hammering boats. certainly need that conveyor belt on the side. Well, Mr. Wilson, I hope you travel a little bit faster. When you go to Hawaii, Santos Nueve. Santos, get ready, because you're going aboard the Nova ship. Tom Schroeder. Get ready to fly, because you're going to Honolulu, Hawaii. All right, Ms. Schultz. Get ready to investigate all those mariners as well. Schroeder.
Put your gum out. Put your gum out, Schroeder.
All right, Mr. Schroeder, you are heading to wonderful South Portland, Maine. And he also gets a very cool last night. Mr. Simpson. All right, Mr. Simpson. Man so big he can lift up the St. Louis Arch in St. Louis, Missouri. All right, Ms. Semple, you're heading to South Portland, Maine. Mr. Stegman. Oh, I'm sorry. Half your folks. Oh, and Mr. Stegman will cover that. All right, Mr. Stegman. Hopefully they recognize your lordship. Mr. Tanaka. All right, Mr. Tanaka, bienvenido a Miami. Mr. Tello. the Air Force, correct? Well, looks like you're going to keep flying. All right, Mr. Honor Layton, you're going to be heading to the Coast Guard Center of Ms. Walker.
Go, Walt.
All right, Ms. Walker, you're heading over to beautiful Santa Rita, Guam. To the end, Mr. Wynn. All right, Mr. Wynn, you're going to be heading to beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida. I think that's it. I think, oh, wait, no. All right, Mr. Sosa Bora, we're going to have to find you a call sign because you're on a flight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause for all the new assignments. We wish you all the best of luck in your first assignment, and we look forward to your continued excellent performance as you transition to your final weeks here. This concludes tonight's ceremony. Please enjoy the remainder of the evening. Thank you all. You've been great. Have an excellent night.